Afternoon, everybody. My name is Dre, like the doctor. I am the creative director and owner of Design to Conquer. Design to Conquer is an affirmation. I am, you are, we are designed to conquer. And my creative tech company helps entrepreneurs and small business owners scale, grow, manage, and maintain their online presence through websites, social media management, email marketing, consultation, and a slew of other things. A lot of the time, entrepreneurs, business owners just need help and clarification. The most difficult thing to do as an entrepreneur sometimes is ask for help. And some of the challenges we face in our journey as entrepreneurs is figuring out how to tell the real from the fake, how to not to waste our time, how not to waste our money, and then put our energy into the correct things. I'm here back in America in the studio, and I wanted to go over more or less straightforward what I created, which is the Entrepreneur Grant Hub for 2026. I'll briefly go over who I am, what I do, and how I ended up making and growing this grant. Like I mentioned, my name Dre. I started my business September 16th, 2022. I went into business for myself. I found the need to create a creative tech company that worked with people who were in the same position as me, people with great ideas, with great motivation, with drive, purpose, but needed help in the fields that they weren't great at, right? I'm excellent at design, I'm very creative, and that was my skill set. And I went out and taught myself other attributing factors and features to make my business grow and scale. I initially started this process by going to a lot of webinars, speaking with counselors, doing things like going to score.org, I believe it is .org, setting up accounts and speaking to people, managers, agents, just to give me a blueprint on what I needed to do. I also went to other things like SBS. I went to Start Small, Think Big. I have been attending these meetings, these webinars, these in person collectives, just to gain more knowledge and become a little bit more concrete in what I wanted to offer my community as well as my target audience. In 2023, I started doing grants. And when I say doing grants, what I mean is applying for grants, trying to figure out how to gain capital for my startup and get the ball rolling on the things that I needed to accomplish. In 2024, I applied to the Honeybook Breakthrough Grant, and I was able to Honeybook Breakthrough Grant. Let's bring that up, and I'll show that to you right now. Is this one that I've been using the whole time? And so what I was able to do was, let's get this together a little bit better. Hopefully I was talking on this main one the whole time. What I was able to do was win this grant. Here we go. Easy peasy. Boom. So, as I mentioned, I applied and won this grant. Here I am, right here. Look at me with my good smile, my good blazer and shirt. I applied in 2024 to the Honeybook Breakthrough Grant. I was the only black man, as you can see, to win this award. There's other black people for sure. There's three, four of us. But I was the only black man to win this award, which is very honoring, very humbling. Here it is, Design to Conquer. That's me. This experience was life changing for myself as well as my business. I was able to start actually getting the ball rolling with my company. This grant opened doors, allowing me to apply more pressure to get things going. After I won this grant, which was for $25,000, that's right. Let's see if we go back up to the top that they say. Um, Yep, here it is. $25,000, including 3 years of Honeybook, premium membership, support from the pros, so on and so forth, for cash investment. Bada boom, right there. You see it? Do you see it? So I won this grant 2 years or less than 2 years after starting my business. This fueled me for continuing to go after grants. At the time, I was applying and wasn't really using too much AI to write or respond. I was really mastering myself and writing out these responses. I was fortunate enough to win. And this kind of put me into the threshold of, yo, I got to start applying to more grants. If I could win this, I need to find more grants. I need to get access to more opportunities. I need to be able to find these opportunities the way that I found this. And so what I did was I started researching and looking for other grant opportunities. I would go to this website. Hello, Skip. I'll go to my dashboard. And back then it didn't look like this. And I would go and apply and find grant opportunities. They made it super simple, straightforward, very user friendly interface, making the application and the application and grant applying process very simple. Another site that I will go to is Hello Alice. Hello Alice, similar process. You go, you find it, you look for your resources, and they too would give you breakdowns on grant fundings that you could find. But that wasn't really enough. I also went to galaxystar.org. I went here trying to apply for grants, look for grants. They have certain fundings, but they wanted you to pay. Some of the stuff that they provided was cool. Other stuff was kind of like hit or miss. So here you can see they have grant opportunities listed for the free. So the reason why I'm showing you this is because these are some of the places that I still currently use in order to get information about grants. Now, obviously, I'm streamlining this process. It wasn't like I automatically knew to find these 3 websites. I've found way more websites, way more resources, but these are the starting grounds for anybody who wants to try and find grant opportunities. I personally felt as though this was a little bit, you know, this out of the 3, Galaxy Star is the least user friendly. It was a little bit challenging to kind of understand the interface. Sometimes this portion itself doesn't work, and it kind of leaves you a little stuck with what to expect. However, it's still a good resource for those who want to go in and try and find some grants. I took all of those, and what I was doing was creating a database. And this is what I created. I made a long list of grants that I found. Actually, let's take a step back. I'll show you the behind the scenes master grant. So this is what it looked like. You know, long list. Back then I was just doing it month by month by month by month and breaking it down. So here at the bottom, you see each month had its own tab in this Google Doc. And that's just how I organize information. Then I had the bright idea. Dre, you spending all this time finding grants. These don't really even necessarily apply to you. Why don't you offer these grant lists to other entrepreneurs that are already in your network, that are already communicating and trying to find these opportunities? And that's what I did. Now, to address one of the first questions that I get a lot, why am I charging? Why isn't this free? Because I'm not a nonprofit. I got bills just like you. I got rent, I got Con Ed, I got all of the things you do and have to be responsible for are is apply to me as well. And what I'm doing is spending my time curating this list, these tabs, and spending time providing a service, right? That's why we're in business, to be service providers. This is one of the services I provide. So if I spend time and effort and energy doing something, I want to be paid for what I do. So that's number one. First and foremost, I don't do anything for free. Like Martin said, it was an episode of Martin where the plumber came into the house. He said, it might cost you a little bit, it might cost you a lot, but it's gonna cost you. And that's the principle I believe in. I mean, I'm not a nonprofit. I'm an LLC. I'm a business owner. And this is business, man. So in 2025, I was able to find over $21 million in grant funding, as well as I created a chat GPT chat um, called the Grant Guru. We named it Cam, and she helps develop, answer, and respond to grant opportunities, making it even simpler and straightforward for entrepreneurs, business owners to apply to grants. She's great with answering fundamental questions about grants as long as you provide her with the information about your business. She'll be able to respond. You read over her answers, tweak whatever needs to be tweaked, and you can continue to apply to grants super fast. This is 100% free. It's on Chat GPT. You can go and find it. The Google Grant Writer is available. But this was what I created last year, a very long list of information. And as the months went by, I started adding more details. So initially, all you got was a link, the amount, the, and the deadline. Then people like, yeah, I got to click all of these links. I don't know whether or not it's for me. I was like, yo, thanks for the feedback. Now we added industries. With the industries, you can tell, all right, bet I do consumer packaged goods. I sell things that's packaged. I can apply to these 3 grants. Oh, this is general. That means that anybody can apply. I can do that. I work in manufacturing. I'm a creative, so on and so forth, making the list a little easier to navigate. But as any good business owner, I wasn't satisfied with just providing this. What I decided to do was elevate what that looked like and create a better formatted system. And I developed this for 2026. So in the end of 2025, I was able to get over 100 entrepreneurs to join and get in on the simple grant list, which was just a Google Doc, straightforward. No bells or whistles, just pure data. By November of last year, 2025, I spent a lot of time developing what the grant hub would look like, what people needed. I was based off of feedback from the people that bought into the original grant list. I developed this grant hub, which brings me to the second part of questions that I get, the legitimacy of what I have here. People are concerned whether or not the grant hub is real, whether or not the links work, so on and so forth, because everybody has a little bit of doubt. So I want to just walk through what this is. It's your secret weapon, like I mentioned. I give out tips. You want to apply early. You want to tailor each application to the person or entity that is offering the grant. You don't want to just copy and paste the same answers onto each one of the grant opportunities that you're applying for. That's not smart. You want to tailor them so that you're talking to what the business company or entity that's providing the grant offers and provides. That means you have to do a little bit of research. That means that you need to start talking to Cam, the guru grant writer, and say, hey, look, I'm applying to let's see, let's use a real example. Let's see. We got the Zen Insurance. Even though it's for Canada, this is a Zen Insurance grant for Canada. Right? I would copy this information. I would do about this business. I would go down to the bottom. I would want to learn about the business somewhere. About, I will go to this page here. I would just take this whole link, copy it. Then I will go to the Google, excuse me, not Google. I will go to Cam and say, hey, I am applying to a new grant. Here is the info about the company offering the opportunity. Then what she gonna do is go search the website, learn about the business, and give you a breakdown. This is the things, blah 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 blah. Right? That's step one. That's how you make sure that you are um, tailoring your response. You want to follow up. You want to learn from rejections, so on and so forth. This one is also very important. A lot of the times when you don't get accepted, what I like to do is respond to the email and ask them where I went wrong. Hey, thank you so much for the opportunity. What the did I do to not win? Could you give me some feedback? Can I get the reasons why? Don't just take the L and keep moving. You want to ask questions so that you can figure out how to improve for the next time, right? Use your noodle. So this is what the Grant Hub looks like. Again, like the example I gave with Zen Insurance, you are able to click and apply to these grants. Very straightforward. No mysteries, no foolishness, no games, no BS. All of these links work. They're all active. And as you can see here at the bottom, for March, there's $3,394,500. $3,394,500 available for March. But obviously, as the time goes by, we're already on the third. That number is going to reduce because the time of the opportunity has expired. Regardless of that, what I created was very similar to its version one. We still have the URLs, we still have the dates, we still have the amounts. Now we still have industries, but also I added notes. So this is open for any for-profit company, but you got to be based in Queens. Any for-profit company, but you got to be in Detroit or Canada or Cali, so on and so forth. And then I made sure that if it was dual purpose, this one is available for nonprofits as well as for profits. This one is art related. You get where I'm going with this. Making the opportunity super straightforward and easy. Some of these are just clicks. Once you click it, it takes you straight to the link, and that link is where you apply. You make sure that you're eligible. If there's any extra knickknacks that they ask for that you would need clarification on, you go through that and you get the work. The Grant Hub also has resources. Here on the left side, I have over 100 tools that I use, AI related, systems related. Again, here's the Grant Guru Cam here available. I also provide resources for web hosting. I won a grant from Honeybook, and I love using Honeybook. Shout out to Honeybook. I got 30% off for you. Free email marketing software. Shout out to Zoho. Then we also have a quick and easy tutorial about how to use the hub. It's pretty straightforward. I also have some AI connections. So if you want to do voiceovers and yada 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 support, you can always shoot me an email. And then a quick about me. I'm a two-time grant winner. In 2024, I was one of the 10 and the only black man to win 25,000. Last year, I won another grant for $5,000 with the NYC committee community committee. Can't really remember the name. I'm getting money like that now, but that was another opportunity for me to utilize the skills and assets that I've gained through my experiences applying for grants. Um, so that made this for me even more worthwhile having. And I just wanted to give you guys a quick overview of what this looks like. Each month has a breakdown. We already have, as far as I believe, July. As far as July right now, with opportunities for people to apply for. Yeah, up until July. And so as time goes by and I get access to more information and more opportunities for grants, I implement them, put them in here, and make it super easy, super fast for people to apply to grants. And that's one of the best features about what the Grant Hub is. The Grant Hub provides you with all the grant opportunities that I find, right? Not to say that you can't go out and find more, but it saves you time. It saves you the time that you have to spend on trying to find grant opportunities. It saves you time on figuring out whether or not a uh, a grant is real, whether it's worth it, and it creates a system for you. You go in, you spend the time, you open these links, you get the writing, you use the Chat GPT grant writer to assist you in cultivating and curating your responses for the grants that you're applying to, and it makes it super easy. Now everything is in the palm of your hands. So the last thing I'll talk about before I get out of here is the price. I charge 25 cents a day to be a member here on the Grant Hub. You're billed annually. So if you take out your calculator or if you're super good at math, you multiply 365 times 0.25. That will give you 91.25. So a quarter a day is all it costs for you to get access to this Grant Hub, which we just walked through to demystify the people that are concerned whether or not is real, if the links work, if this is, a scam. This is not scam likely. All of these links work. Every time you click it, it takes you to the site, and then you could get the work, start applying. Again, you are saving a whole bunch of time because this makes it super simple, super easy for you to find the grants for your specific needs. The last thing I'll talk on um, is just the idea of how to apply. Some people hit me up with industry specific, like, "Hey, look, I'm in medical. I want to apply for medical." I'm like, but you're also a woman, so you might as well go and apply for a woman-owned business, right? Like that makes more sense than try and go into something super specific and narrow your opportunities. You want to apply to as many grants as possible, because if you only go after the ones that you're thinking of, you're limiting you're casting a smaller net. You want to cast a wide net, apply to multiple grants that fit into the demographics that you're after. Not every grant opportunity is going to be about medical. Not every grant opportunity is going to be about culinary, baking. Not every grant is going to be about fitness. Does it make sense to only go after one specific type of grant? You want to be able to cast a wide net and say, hey, look, I got this business. I need to apply. This is a general one. This is for any business. It's for California. Or, this one right here for $15,000. Verizon Small Business Digital Ready. I need to apply for that. Take the time to apply to as many grants that you are eligible for, versus applying to grants that fit the need that you're looking for. Because chances are you ain't gonna find that. It's gonna be super hard to find. You're gonna spend more time than you need to trying to find something. And that's where you end up into the scam likely situations. That's where you end up not able to let me end the sharing. That's when you end up spending more time than you need to. Chances are you wasting money as well, because you're buying into something that doesn't really fit your needs and fit your purpose. So with that in mind, I suggest everybody take this opportunity, this time, to go in and check out the site. The site is available here on my website. Let's see if I could change this. Let's change this banner. Da, 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 da. Let's see. I should have thought of this before, but I'm getting better at doing all of this. Boom! Look at me! Look at me! So if you go right down here to designtoconquer.com/grant hub, you'll be able to get access to the grant hub. I'll pull that up for you so you can see what it looked like. I'll pull that up so you can see what it looked like. Share screen. We're gonna go right over here to this. Boom. Boom, bow, surprise. There we go. So you're gonna visit designtoconquer.com/grant hub. You'll end up on this page. We're gonna go straight here, since I gave you a little spiel about whatever and everything else. Right here, you see you paying 25 cents a day for 1 year access. You click get access. Once you click get access, you'll get a link to this page. And then from there, you get to work. Super simple, super straightforward, less than $100. That's cheaper than a date for 2 people here in New York. Probably cheaper than your bills. And it's a one-time payment, gets you access immediately, and you can get to work. Speaking of getting to work, I got to get out of here because I have work to do. I hope this was helpful, beneficial, and demystifying. Again, we don't run scams. I'm not out here trying to steal your money and give you some bullshit. I'm a grant winner myself, so I want to be able to provide these opportunities to other people. Secondly, I don't work for free, so I'm not giving this to you for free. I'm spending time, effort, energy to make it, so you're going to pay for it. If you don't, you don't. Third, I gave you some free resources. So if you don't decide to join the Grant Hub and join the community, go to helloalice.com, go to helloskip.com, and go to galaxystar.org. You can use those 3 to try and catch up and do all of the things and mention match, but I got it all in one place for you. All right, take care. Remember, I am, you are, we are Design to Conquer.